So we have Mr. Barry Fisk with us in his relatively new capacity as principal and in a leadership role at Sacajawea. And I just wanted to say welcome and thanks for taking some time with us, and just to ask a couple of questions of you for parents and other Sacajawea boosters who don't have the opportunity to see you during pickup or drop off or recess for that matter, because I understand you shoot hoops with some of the kids during recess. So thanks for being with us. And I just was hoping you could tell us a little bit about first your path to Sacajawea. You're new in this role, but not new to the community. So tell us a little bit about how you find yourself here and now.
Okay, yeah, and thanks for having me. So I spent my first 12 years in education in Seattle Public Schools, mostly as a teacher of second and third grades, although I have taught first through fourth at various times. And after 12 years and a couple years as a career ladder teacher at the end there, it was suggested to me by one of my former principals that I might consider going into leadership. So I pursued a master's in educational administration, and when I was nearing the end of that, it was time to find an internship. And the school I was at the time, that position wasn't available. So somebody who was in my program with me recommended that I talk to Rachel at Sacajawea. And so I did, and we hit it off, and she agreed to mentor me. And so I spent actually 2 years mentoring at Sacajawea. 4 years ago was my final year here. So I am familiar with the community, and much of the staff has stayed the same. So I know a lot of the wonderful people, and even some of the parents, and even a few kids who are here in kindergarten and first grade. I remember, and some of them remember me as well. So when Rachel went on leave, she knew that I had recently left my assistant principal position in Federal Way, which I'd been doing for the last 3+ years. Asked me if I'd be willing to step in and try to keep things going and in a positive direction while she was gone. And of course I said yes, because I would never say no to Rachel or to Sacajawea. So I'm glad to be back.
Well, we're so glad that you did, and we appreciate your willingness to put your hand up when called upon in this time that's challenging for everybody. Maybe you can tell us a little bit too about being in a leadership or management role, a little bit about your approach to serving as principal in this interim capacity, and just a little bit about the work that goes on behind the scenes that we don't get to see during the regular workday.
Well, my approach in this particular role, I think, is to really sort of just keep the systems and procedures that are in place running as smoothly as possible, because Rachel and so many of the teacher leaders and staff here have got so many great systems in place already. So, and I think, as you alluded to, it's been a difficult enough last couple of years. So just trying to keep that going in the right direction and not make any really big changes. There's a lot that goes on that parents may not see, although more now, right? Because we can't have parent volunteers in the building, but teachers and administrators, we wear a lot of hats. So we're not just teachers, we're social workers and counselors and I can't think of all the different roles we play at different times, but it's all worth it because it's so rewarding to work with kids. There's no better job in the world to get to work with kids and watch them grow and blossom. So my philosophy in terms of being a leader is, I guess I would call it servant leadership. So the idea is that I'm here to support and just do whatever I can for both the staff, the students, and families. As a leader, but also as a servant. So just doing what I can. And then I guess last thing I'd finish with is, when you go into administration, they have you think a lot about what your core values are, and I think mine may have evolved over the years, but I would say now they're really safety, because if people aren't physically and emotionally safe, staff, students, families, then they can't learn and they can't thrive. So that's important. Community, just that having a community that works together and grows together, and rigor, we definitely want to make sure we're challenging the kids and helping them achieve academically.
Good. Well, that's, you were one of the first administrators that we met when Brody and I joined Sacajawea. Now we are a fourth grade family, and when we started in kindergarten, and so it's been a real joy to welcome you back. And in fact, Brody was talking today, not for the first time, but the second or third time, about you being out on the playground, shooting hoops with the kids. And I can see very clearly just by him telling, stories like that and sharing what he observes about you being in the community, that you're a devoted servant leader to Sacajawea, and I, for one, appreciate it greatly. Is there anything else that you might like parents or other Sacagawean community members to know about you and your time with us?
Well, I think to know about me, I guess it might be nice to know a little bit about me outside of work. So I have my wonderful wife, Julia Ward, who's actually works in the district too. She's the elementary science curriculum specialist for the district. And I have two great kids. My son Cole is 21, and my daughter Rosemary is 19. He's got a job and is living with his girlfriend and has his own apartment. He seems to be doing well. And then my daughter is up living with some of her high school friends up in Bellingham, going to college at Western Washington University and working in childcare, and she seems to be thriving as well. And we also love animals. So we have a house just north of the school here, and we have a nice piece of land, and we have chickens and a couple bulldogs and turtles and fish, and we have our own little zoo. So that's just a little bit about me, I guess.
Terrific. Well, I'm sure I speak for many when I say that we look forward to the days where we can engage in face-to-face, real-time conversation, and all of us to get to be a little better acquainted. But in the meantime, I appreciate you taking a few minutes just to help us get to know you better, if only in this virtual environment. So thanks for taking the time.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure.